These are vows, not wow. What's a vow? For example, a person says, I want to benefit in something. And from this very moment, I'll keep silent every Saturday to gratify Saturn. Or God, as you like. Here is a real case of such a vow. One man made a vow. He was a prosperous businessman and he vowed to keep silent on Saturdays without food or water. And the number of Saturdays coincided his age. And he is in his 40s, it's long, and he did it every Saturday. At work on Saturday he wrote notes and texted to everyone. He didn't say a word, he kept doing it. He went to India with us, and it's hot there. Can you imagine, he went shopping with his relatives in such a weather, went sightseeing. Can you imagine heat without water? I can tell you that you need 5 bottles a day, and even more. You're wet all the time. It was difficult to see him in the sun. I asked him to drink. He felt dizzy. I've vowed. It's called austerity. Austerity is one of the ways of karma improvement. What happened next? He held out. Then economy default happened. He lost everything, went bankrupt. They took his property away, took away all his possessions. His wife left him. By the way, she was in India with us, met sadhus, talked with them, but understood nothing. You're poor now, I don't need you anymore, left him in such a hard situation. He invited me to his place and said, explain, what did I do wrong? I got the blessing. I held fasting during 40 Saturdays. Why such an ending? Look, I lost everything. I even don't have money for a tram. He took bread from me. There was time when he made programs for us, donated a lot. He used to be a very rich man. What did I do wrong? Maybe I repeated mantra improperly. I was also confused. It was me who inspired him to do all those things. And such a result. I also appeared to have strong doubts. Does it really work? He says, the last Saturday is left. Is it worth doing? It's worth. If you made a vow, do it. And he held the last Saturday. In some time, somebody called. He was going to be arrested at this time. Somebody called and invited him to Moscow, to Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. He committed so many sins that they knew about it in the Kremlin. He put his rusk in a bag and went to Moscow, to prison. Such an interesting case. It appeared that long ago he had come to Moscow and given a project on developing agriculture in Nizhegorодskaya Oblast. It was his own project and he had asked for investment. The case had been forgotten, he had forgotten about it himself, and now they called him because of this project. He arrived and was told, here is your project, I want to give you a few billions. He asked, how much? Is 2 billion rubles enough for this project? Don't worry, we won't oppress you, develop it. It's a good project, I like it. And what was he supposed to do? Yes, I agree. He asked him, sorry, but how did you invent this all? It's a long story. I was in Siberia, Baikal. He had a group mate there, his friend. They met there, and this fellow appeared to be Putin's cousin. And he said, "Let me help you somehow, maybe invest in something. Now I have everything, but my friend has a problem to be solved." So he called and said his word to give the money. The wife came back. I understood everything, how wrong I was. You used to be a millionaire, now you're a billionaire. Did he take her back? No, he didn't. He said goodbye. Then they called to the bank and told that if they bother him again, there would be problems. Credits were closed, everything was okay. It wasn't in vain. Saturday austerities. Why did I tell you this story? Your austerities will always bring result. But before getting his billion, his bloodsucker wife had to be removed, do you see? He understood it later. He was shown who surrounded him, that nobody helped, not a single hand. Although they could, everybody left him. He said, "I understand now why those rats had been taken away from me. It's wrong to keep such people around when you have such money. Now I also understand this. I'll be very careful now with those who are by my side. That's why it happened. He was ruined, but given more. But he used to think that it was the end. It often happens when such a trouble happens. You think it's the end of life. However, when time passes, you'll look back and see that it was the right thing." There's one more case, simpler, not from oligarch's life. An old woman with sick eyes, she had cataract, she wanted her eyes to be cured. I said, "You need an austerity." "What an austerity?" "Fast and ask for it." "And what? Will it get it well itself?" "Why itself? Maybe you'll meet a doctor. A favorable situation will happen. To meet a good doctor is also good karma. Something will happen." She did something, I don't remember what. She made a vow, and once she went to gather raspberries in the forest. She came to the forest and there was a hive. Bees stung her everywhere, stung her eyes. She swelled like this. "You're an idiot. You taught me wrong. Look at my face. I'm dying. It's anaphylactic shock." She cried at me. Then, "Your so-called God, I prayed to you, thanks a lot." She ganged up on God, on everybody. And when edema went away, her eyes started to see. It appeared that bee's venom dissolves cataracta. Oh, sorry. Sorry for everybody. I'll give one more example. One fellow also made austerity. He told they were drinking with friends in the evening, talking, and they decided to go to banya. Everybody liked the idea and went to banya. So he also wanted to go, but twisted his leg and broke it. So sad, everybody went to banya. He called the ambulance. Listen what happened next. On their way to banya, they fell down from the bridge. And everybody died. Everybody. And he just broke his leg to avoid banya. You see? He was supposed to get this karma. After that, he had a number of other troubles. So, This deathly karma dissolved in a broken leg, in other problems. It started dissolving, it stretched out in time. It happens sometimes. It can happen in a moment fully, or can be dispelled. It kind of softened and burned, and the yagis can burn it fully without breaking legs, destroy it completely. It depends on austerity. Hiranyakashipu, many famous demons, got their powers due to austerities. Write down the rule. Austerity gives the right for a certain power. For example, when you work, it is also austerity. To go to work in frosty weather early in the morning, isn't it an austerity? You don't want to, but you go because you have to. What's your motive? Money. You have to earn money and you go there. You do it every day, and the result of your austerity is your salary. And you spend this money as you want. It's a compelled austerity. In space it works in a different way, but the principle is the same. You practice austerity, for example, keep silent for a year. And your goal is, let the power of my austerity help cure people. You've been keeping silent for a year. Didn't say a word. Have you seen those yogis standing with a tongue ping, a hand drying off? Why are they torturing themselves? Strange, isn't it? They know what they do. They are getting power. In exchange for this, they get certain physical powers. In a year after you did it, you can say, you're healing from your disease. Or you say a spell and disease disappears. Go and buy a spell book and read. No problem. Will it work? No, it won't. But the person for whom you've done this can hit you for such silly things, for this circus. You've muttered something, nothing happened, get the hit, and you took money for it. What's the problem? And what do those old women do? They first kneel down, pray, fast, practice austerities. It happens that a person used to make austerities in the previous life and still have the results, mystic abilities. A woman spelled my hernia when I was in year 8. She was spelling, muttering something, and it disappeared by the evening. Such austerities give power. So, if you practice austerity, you receive bala. In Sanskrit, it's power. You can put austerity on everything. If you want to lose weight, put austerity on your stomach and tongue. You'll save much money, and the result will be good. No food on Saturday? No. Stop eating sweets, bread. It's austerity. Why do people fail to do it? What's the problem? Do you know how much money is earned on your unwillingness to practice austerity? If a man wants to be an Apollo, go and work out. It's also austerity. You do it again and again. If you want to become a good fighter, what do? One guy, I know him from St. Pete's, he couldn't master playing the guitar with the speed he wanted. He failed. So he spontaneously scattered salt, kneeled down and said, "Until I play, I'll stand on this salt." His knees were eroded, bloody, but he continued and finally did it. Michael Jackson made a vow, "I won't marry until I get success." They had a family band. They all got married, immersed in gratifications, everything was broken, but he vowed. He was the least perspective of all. And in front of the mirror, every day, he trained his every muscle every day. And celibacy. What happened with him later is another question, but what did he get? The result. He entered the stage, put off his jacket, and everybody went crazy. What's so special? There are so many parodists who do the same movements, but nothing happens. Everybody were impressed. Remember, the one who wants to become a famous musician, or if a woman wants to become queen of beauty, they have to practice austerities. How is body shape maintained? There is material austerity when you do it for your body, music, fame, and there is a different austerity. For example, when you want to get Indra's throne, gods are afraid of such ascetics. It's an attempt to take my throne away. They start making obstacles for you. There is a number of austerities. Is the idea of moksha clear? Everything can be solved in this world, but people are materialistic. They stubbornly try to solve the problem like donkeys. Door, please open up, please open up. You have to ask the one who have closed it. Hey, you behind the door, open it, please. And I'll give something to you. Write down the law. It doesn't matter who you are, what's your motive, what's your conscience, are they clean or not. According to the law of the universe, any austerity will be rewarded, you see? Could you tell, please, is reading scriptures an austerity? It's devout activity, kind of austerity, but not indeed. And could you give the definition? Austerity is willingly, when you willingly deprive yourself of something for the sake of your goal. For example, how did Ravana gain success? Famous Ravana, a hero from Mahabharata, he had been holding Kailas mountain for 100 years together with Shiva and Durga on his shoulders. 100 years. Can you stand for 100 years? And he held it on his shoulders. Shiva blessed him. You'll be invincible. Nobody could conquer him, but he didn't ask for protection from humans. He considered it unimportant, pride. Should men and women austerities differ? Some austerities are severe. Serafim Sarovsky gained powers with the help of his severe austerity. What did he do? He stood on a stone praying. He wore chains. Russian ascetics, the point is the same idea. It doesn't matter what is your religion, the idea is the same. Porfiry Ivanov, an ascetic, a real one. Austerity is not the way for common people. You won't be able to live like this for a long time. And yagyas are available to everybody. You just order it. How does it work? You've earned money. You give this money away. You give the results of your labor for yagya. And if you don't want to spend money, then practice austerities. You see, there are different ways. I believe that it's very difficult to practice austerities because we are very tired, don't have enough strength for it. Do we have to choose an austerity ourselves? There is a list of them. For example, if you practice Ekadashi twice a month at a certain moon position, if these days you don't eat bread or eat nothing, you already get power. There are recommended austerities, and there are those you can invent yourselves. My brother drowned when he was very little. He fell into an ice hole and was carried away with the flow. Somehow a frogman turned up to work there. He was fixing pontoons. Such a coincidence, and he saved him. But his condition was very bad. Nobody believed that he would survive. And his grandmother, there were two sisters, both were very religious Christians. They were kneeling for 3 days, interrupted only for the toilet, and were praying together. Praying and praying. Then one of them stood up and said, "Remember the time he has come to life." And in hospital papers there was written that he revived right at that time. And since then a mark has been left on his on him right here, a white one. It can't change the color. It was God's finger which touched him. And during the war, there were lots of cases when women saved their husbands with the help of faith. Bullets didn't kill them. Austerity is a wide notion. For example, to wait alone for your man. It's also an austerity. He left to the army. I'm waiting for him. And why Saturday? Saturday is Saturn. Saturn is the planet of fate. That's why Jews respect Saturday. They know it. That is what's written.